everyone, and welcome to my universe. So yeah, I figured I'd draw more today. So let's just start trying to get this background done. The main thing that I want to do today is I want to figure out how I want to wrap the foliage around the windowsill and stuff. I don't know. I keep going back and forth on whether or not I want it to, like, wrap around this gold thing like it's climbing up it, or if I want this gold thing to just be something that frames the window. Choices are hard. Right now I think I do want to go for the climbing effect, and unfortunately it's not really something that I have to decide right away because I can just use a transparency mask to kind of derp around and experiment. I think I have enough of the gold part here drawn already to kind of at least start messing with that. But there is one thing I want to do first, and that's, God. Man, the stream just started. My nose is already itchy. Life is hard. Um, yes, there is one thing that I wanted to do first. And I spent some time looking at fancy mansion pictures for a little bit. And I think I might get rid of the windowsill, actually. I think I might just have it flat in there and then have this table in front of it. So, rather than erasing it, I'm just going to cut it out, move it to a new layer, and hide it, and then we'll see what I want to do, and I can see if I like this table being a little bit higher or if I want this thing there. But right now, I just kind of feel like these two things are stepping on each other, and I don't like it. So, let's see. It would be something like we just grab from probably about here. I'll go all the way across. And then if I feel like it's necessary, I can add a light, darker spot right out in front here. But I think this is about where this would be. Look, all this windowsill. Okay. So then we get rid of that, and then we take the table, and I just lift it up here, and it will become the new windowsill. And then I gotta get rid of all this stuff. That's fine. Okay. So I think that might be a little bit more cohesive, and it'll make the table feel a little bit less, what's the word? Small? I guess? Like, it no longer just goes up to her knees? That might be nice. Let me see. Where's my foliage? Does it still sit on it nicely? Not quite. Let's make it a little taller. Kind of like those leaves just hanging off the side just a little bit. I'll probably have to trim the top a bit, but that's fine. I can do that. Okay, there we go. Okay, and let me just do a quick before and after but I already think I like this a lot more. Yeah, this just works better. Okay. We'll go with that, and that's one less thing I have to worry about drawing fancy things on. So we'll just make the table fancy. It'll probably get some nice fancy patterns and stuff, as you do. Honestly, with the way the flowers sit on it, and the way Katya will just be blocking it, like even on this side, her hips over here are probably going to be a bit larger, because I think that looks better with the silhouette of the dress here. I don't really think I need to put any clutter or decoration on there. I think the flowers just sitting on it look fine. Okay. I'm satisfied. I'll leave the windowsill here as a potential thing if I want to mess with it later and do some science. I don't expect I'll use it, but I don't see any reason to delete it for the time being. So, let's start wrapping the foliage around the gold thing. So I'm just adding a transparency mask. I'm gonna press D to switch my colors back to just pure black and white. And now I will find what I currently have of the gold thing. Where the hell did I put it? There it is. Okay. So I'm gonna think about if I decide to have this wrap around it. It's entirely possible that I'll just leave it out in front like this. I haven't decided. But if I am gonna have it wrap around, like, what would that look like? We have the gold thing coming in here. I might make the cabinet just slightly narrower. Another thing that I haven't quite decided, I think I would have to, though. Because this looks a little bit weird, and I do want the gold thing running all the way down. And right now it's really hard to differentiate between this gold wall part and the cabinet there. But okay, let's worry about some of this other stuff. Let's just focus on leaves. So if I was gonna have it wrap around, let's see. I am going to lower the opacity for just a little bit here, just so I can kind of see where it is. So if we have this part of the vine kind of coming back here, might get something like this, and I'm gonna keep things messy for now. I want to do just enough for me to be able to see if I even like it. I think that guy can stay, but these guys I'll bring further back. So this is wrapping around this way, and will be coming up this way. So let's see, how would that affect the rest of the leaves here? I guess it'd be something like this, where half the flower is just behind. And then the parts over here kind of stick out. And this would be behind. And where would it come back out? Right up here seems okay. So I guess... or something quick and dirty. I'm having to think about it. That's okay. That's fine. And where does it start going back around again? Let me see. Even just this far, I think I kind of prefer just all the foliage. You know what? Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't have to try that hard then. I'm just gonna leave it like this. I think this looks better. So we'll just let that gold part be something that kind of wraps around here and kind of frames the window and is just kind of vaguely pretty. Mostly covered up though, and let me see if I even like this part that goes all the way down. So, because initially that was going to be something for the foliage to wrap around, but if I'm not going to do that, because no, I like all the leaves there. I think they look cute. So let's see if I just make this a little narrower, and we go back and center it. And I have some messy gold bleeding there. Let me clean that up just a little bit. God, where the hell did I put it? I can never find it. Okay, it's behind the table now, right? I forgot that I moved it down there. I have things mirrored. I just need to look at the colors for a second. This requires thinking. Composition is hard. No, it needs something down there, so yeah, something like this should work. Why is this so far to the side there, but not here? I hate this. The centering works great when it's just... you know, you're using the whole picture, but since I'm trying to do just half the picture here, it's getting all screwy. And I hate it. This is clearly not centered. I mean, look. This does not go all the way to the edge here. See? I have some space. But here, it's like halfway off the edge. My eternal hatred. Alright. You can even see the flowers here aren't centered either. Oh god, how am I gonna mirror things properly? I actually do care about the symmetry. Alright, well, I'll eyeball. I think that's the best I can do, but fortunately I got this big straight line going all the way down. So hopefully that'll make it easier, I guess. How did this get cut off? You know what? I'm not gonna worry about it, because I'm not gonna keep that side. I'm gonna mirror it again at some point. I'll probably have to manually kind of push things into place, but, you know, there we go. I think that's closer to the center. Now her ear is weird and... I like where it is. I'm gonna push Katya a little bit to the right, too. There. Okay. Are we still good? Do I still like where everything is? You know, the foliage on this side being weird aside. Do I feel like this is in the middle? Let me see. I can check. Let's get the brush out here and I'll use it as a vague measuring device. Yeah, that side's bigger now. Okay, so maybe it wasn't the window that was off-center. It was just the gold part for some reason. Even though I drew it around the window, maybe my mirror tool isn't centered properly and I should just give up on it and draw things separately. You know, I can get behind that. We're gonna just draw the right side and call it good. Okay, where is my gold part? I think I'll leave a little gap on the edge there. Wait, it's below the table now. My layer stack. Okay. So I think I want a little gap there. Alright. And let's see. Table. I want to narrow that trim just a little. The table's only going to go to about here. So this way there's a little gap in the wall back there. And since centering isn't working for me, once again, I'm only gonna draw half the table and then I'm gonna flip it. Where's Katya? Okay. And that's just gonna be how things are. It feels a little awkward, but whatever. I can't find the middle of this properly, so you gotta do what you gotta do. I'll find roughly the middle here, and we'll just kill half of this. It's fine. I can make it work. It'll be great. I say, slightly crying, but you know what? It's fine. I'm used to it. That's just how art is sometimes. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. So... I have a couple of minor corrections I want to do on the window itself, and I think they'll be pretty straightforward. I just feel like I'm showing a little bit too much of the bottom here. So I just need to go find that one. Okay. Just need to go find the layer, and then I'm just gonna go all the way across. And we're just gonna shave a small piece of that off. I want to do this now because I'd like to draw the trees in the background. And just general background things. I've been debating if I want to do that today or if I just want to go into the table and the gold thing. I think regardless, I want to finish the gold thing first, but that was bothering me when I was looking at it, so I wanted to fix it. Okay. Gold thing. Let's do it. Okay. So... I'm gonna collapse the table again, it's in the way. Alright. So first things first, I just want to... You know, you see how there's weird little bits coming off here? I just want to make that smooth, and that's super straightforward. Because all I need to do is grab my friend, the rectangular marquee, and just basically do what I was just doing with the window, and you just shave off a tiny piece of it here. I do worry it'll be a little bit too thin at this point, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, I want it to be thinner than this anyway, so I think this is fine. And I'll just do the same here. I'm gonna actually start it from the... Well, no, I really can't. Okay. I was gonna start it from the bottom, but then I remembered that I kind of have to care about which parts of the middle of this part that I shave off too. So, kind of had to start it where I could see that. And then I do just enough to shave off those rough edges. Right about there, it should be good, I think. Okay. And now all that's cleaned. And I think I can just leave the foliage on from here on because, yeah, most of this is just covered up. Yeah, this part's nice and straight. It looks like there's just enough gaps here that I kind of care about what things look like right here. So we'll shave off just a little bit right there as well. And no, I can't really do that. I can. All right. Well, we'll just use the line tool to put a little bit of it back because I like where this connects here. I like this. So, man, today is just a super babbly. I'm just at such a babbly state. It's fine. Okay, and all the way down. That's probably fine. It looks weird, but it's all covered by foliage, so I don't think I have to care. And I'm not gonna super smooth this, but I'll kind of get the curve going well. I'll get it. I want it where it turns to kind of line up with the window itself. Okay, there we go. When I'm designing things like this, there's like several thoughts running through my head at once, and when I try to vocalize exactly what I'm doing, it comes out as like 12 different things, because that's basically what I'm doing. But point being, I was just trying to figure out how thick this line should be, and where it all starts turning downward. I think that level of blobbiness is probably fine. Let's get this guy into a proper spot. And I'll smooth out the parts that need it. And we'll just do some very, very basic smoothing for now. Just enough that I know where it'll be once I go look at the foliage. And then after this, it's just going to be a matter of making it shiny. Oh, man. Okay, let's see if I can fix this without too much work. Because this is joining up way too high, so I kind of need it to do that. And this curve is totally wrong now, but that's fine. Now I have it in a good spot. So now I can kind of shave it so it's a little bit more parallel with the part next to it. There we go. Okay, that's probably good enough. And now I know roughly where it is, so I can just make things nice where it's visible, and frankly, I think it already all looks pretty nice, so I don't have very much work to do, which is excellent for me. Okay. Cool. Alright, I think we're good. So now it's just a matter of making it shiny, and then I need to make it a little fancy. So most of it is going to be hidden, but for this first part, I want to make sure that things are kind of visible, just so I can get an idea of what I'm doing, as always. And in order to make this nice and fancy, nice and shiny, let's go make a lovely highlight color. Ah. I want this, but just a little bit brighter. Yes. How's this? Perfect. Okay, cool. Go with that color. Oh. Alright, spirits. You know I love you, but this is not the time and the place. Alright. Be gone, bot. Oh, wow, I got like 2 back to back. That's never happened. I'm really going up in the world. Look, you know you've made it once the bots start noticing you. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm gonna take my marquee here. This is why I decided to hide the foliage for a second. And I'm gonna go about halfway, and this is gonna be the side facing the window. Gonna do the same for the other side. And when I make it soft, the light will get a little bit dimmer as I go down there, but not gonna do that yet. About halfway, all the way down. No, that's not thick enough. Let's try that again. My hand twitched at the last second. Life is hard. Okay. Right there. That should be good. Okay, so then we just color in that. There we go. And once again, I'm just going to do the bare minimum here, so this way I know where it will be in the curved part, and I can figure out which parts I have to care about, and which part is like, okay, this is fine. You can see that as I go further, I tend to get lazier and lazier. Well, I mean, this is why I draw the things in front first. Because when they're in front, you know, and you have it done, and you know what space they're going to take up, you can get real lazy as you go for the things that are just mostly going to be covered up. I just do the bare minimum to kind of know which parts I have to care about, then I turn the layer back on, and I'm like, oh, look. It's all covered up. Nothing to worry about. Life is good. Okay. I kind of want to put some amount of patterns on it still. I was kind of debating with myself on, do I need to make this fancier? Yes. Yes, I do. It's important. We're in a fancy mansion party. We gotta be fancy. So I'm gonna add a group there, so this way I can just take my nice kind of pale purple, blue-ish color, set this to multiply, and then I can scribble and I'll get something. I don't think I like that color specifically, but it's okay. I can pick a better one. Stretch. Stretch. Okay. What kind of pattern do I want here? I want something that kind of mirrors this thing, so just something kind of swirly. Okay. I'm gonna need to turn off the foliage again in order to kind of sketch this out, because I need to be able to see what I'm doing. So I think if I just add a little curly here, as you can see, I'm zoomed out heavily for this, unlike with the windows where I was zoomed in for most of it. And we just kind of add a wavy line that goes back and forth. Hello there, Bagel. Welcome back. And we add another curly at the bottom here. And here gets a curly. We go around. And I think I'll just do something simple like this. This is sufficiently fancy for what it is. Okay. So, similar thing here. We get curly right there, and then we get wavy. It's nice not to have to worry too much about it. I guess I'll have to worry at the bottom, because that's not going to be covered by anything, and I think that's where most of this pattern is going to show through. So I'll try to be a little bit more consistent in terms of width and whatnot there, but that'll be a problem for future me. I do hate this color, but that's okay. I'll fix it at the end. Okay, so now that I have the first part, I'm gonna turn the foliage back on. And then from here, I can kind of start working out how thick I want this line to be and whatnot. I want it to be pretty thin. It's just going to be a simple little carving. Going inside of whatever metallic material this is. Something vaguely gold adjacent, I guess. Are you the curly? No, you're not the curly. That was just a mistake. I was gonna say, that looked too high to be the curly. Okay, so I do plan to add a few more decorations here. But I just want to get this part sorted out before I start worrying about it. Which way are you going? Okay. Get those lines nice and thin. Are you even going to the right spot? No, you need to be going a little further back. It's okay. I think I'm doing a good job, not just getting stuck on getting all the details right here. or at least the ones that don't matter. This is why I'm like, okay, we're not going to attempt to draw this with the foliage off. I just need it off for the very beginning part. And then it can be on for the rest, while I just kind of be like, oh yes, right now we just scribble, and it's fine. And it is fine. That's not where the curly's supposed to go. What's going on? Let's see, this is probably going just a little bit further down here. So I think the curly probably starts, let's see, like right here, and then it comes up and around like this. And I think that's how it curls. Okay, so yeah, no visible curly there, so I don't have to worry about my cute little curves. This is fine. I think I want this line to go a little bit lower, though. Okay, there we go. That's fine. That works. Okay, and down here, I actually kind of have to care. Because all of this is going to be very much visible. So I'll be sure to get everything looking pretty nice. No more laziness allowed. It's deeply unfortunate. deeply, deeply unfortunate. And I think this is where I'm going to determine kind of how the rest of the pattern works. And fortunately, given that I went over this super basic wave already and kind of smoothed it out, I'll know which parts are going to be covered by foliage and which are not, even with my foliage layer off. So I'll know roughly where I need to be drawing these things. And which parts I can kind of ignore. And that'll make it just a little bit easier for me to draw it. Yeah, you'll have to take my word for it for a little bit, but it will. I love being able to turn off layers. It's so convenient. Sometimes I wonder how traditional artists are able to do so much without layers. They're just very convenient. It's very nice. Okay. And I think it's fine if the widths through here aren't totally consistent. Like the widths between the waves, like this one's a little bit smaller than this one. I think it's fine. If this was an important part of the piece, I'd probably spend a little bit more time trying to get the length of each of these little waves about the same. But it's not. It's here in the corner. So I don't really care that much. I'm trying to be better about picking my battles, especially since I want to make sure I have this done by October 10th. Ideally, it would be a little bit sooner, because I'm betting they're going to do a birthday kudo board again. And I'd like to be able to put this on it. That'd be great. Okay. Yeah, you know, just in general, it's been an ongoing thing in my life. I'm not always very good about picking my battles, not just in art, but in, like, everything. It can leave you pretty tired. But I do find it easy to at least kind of start picking out what's really important for a specific art piece, and then just kind of go in on that. I'm getting better at it. I'm not sure if I'm there, but I'm getting better. Okay. I do want to get this line thickness about right. They're pretty thin little carvings in here. I want it to look nice and delicate. Very soft. Okay. There we go. I think that looks fine. Let's add in some pretty patterns. I'm scared, so I'm gonna do it on another layer, and let's see, what kind of patterns do I want? Ah, that's right, I haven't set it to multiply yet. What kind of patterns do I want? I want it to be thin. I'm not too worried about where they overlap like this right now, because I will eventually kind of merge these layers together. I'm just going to experiment with a few different patterns, see which ones I like. These ones are about the same, but there's a little bit of nuance here. I guess I shouldn't really worry about getting the line just right until I decide what pattern I want to go with. This looks too much like wood. I don't think I like it. Okay. So I'll go with a different kind of curly thing. Maybe with, something like this. No, I don't really like that either. Maybe the kind of scale thing I was doing on the windows. The thing that was kind of paisley adjacent. I don't know, this also kind of just looks like wood, and I don't like it. It's like, it looked good up here. But I also don't really want this to look like a wood texture. I do like the wave, but it's not quite enough on its own. Here, let me go look at some fancy mansions again. When in doubt, just go look at the thing you're trying to draw. Okay, you know what? Instead of a pattern, let's go ahead and hide that layer. I know I just spent a bunch of time trying to make it look nice, but I might have just changed my mind on what I want to do with this, as I am prone to doing. So I'm gonna try a slightly different thing. Let's go ahead and pick a shadow color for this gold. Let me see, do I like that gold? Just compared to her outfit. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay. So let's pick a shadow color. Let's pick a color I actually like this time, and not that color I was using before. I thought it looked pretty bad. I was just going to fix it after. That's not really working either. Something a little bit lighter, a little bit less purple. No. Really like it. Let's see. I might just need to use something else. Yeah, something in this area is working a little bit better for me. Let's see. Can I bring you at least a little toward purple so you're not... Okay, there we go. So I was like, so you're not totally different? Okay. So there we go. Got shadow color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my rectangular selections again, and we're gonna make this ridged. So I'm just gonna make a thin little selection here. And I actually think I want this to be mid-tone, not shadow. There we go. Thin little ridge there. And this is a pattern I see on a lot of the fancy mansions I was looking at. Where it's, I don't know, just kind of ridgy like that. I don't know how to describe that pattern, but I think it looks okay. And then we'll have a little bit kind of facing the other way. So let's get my shadow color here. Ah, too far, too far. Okay, and then we'll have something like that. Okay, and how's this? You know what? For what it is, I think that this works just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it with the other one. Just kinda add the mid-tone again here. Okay, and then shadow out on the other side. And then all I have to do is kind of copy it up all the way up. Yeah, I think that still looks sufficiently fancy for what I want to do here. And it's a lot easier than what I was trying to do before. So, that seems like a win to me. Okay, so I'll just very messily kind of extend this upward, and I'll smooth it out after. Here's just messy. It'll be fine. And since I like this, I'm gonna go ahead and merge the layers together, and we'll call it good. I could add a little pattern going down the middle, but you know what? I think this is fine. I think I'm just gonna roll with it. Okay. Just gonna try to kind of carefully pull this up. I'm trying to work on being able to draw things in a single stroke. I think part of it is also the brush I use here, where I let the width be just highly variable. Like, if I have a brush this size, I can make lines this thin, or I can go all the way over, and I think it just, especially when I'm kind of in this range, might make my hand a little bit more unsteady. So if I make myself another brush where I don't make the difference quite that strong, I might have better luck. So I might try that at some point. Yeah. Okay, and then when it comes time to shade everything, I can just make this area down at the bottom darker. We'll have a little bit of global light down there that just makes everything a little bit darker. And I think that'll work. Oh, yeah, that's right. I also have the little bit of glow here. That actually looks really nice already. Okay. I will look forward to adding all that. Okay. So now all I have to do is touch up the parts that I actually kind of care about here, which I do see just a little bit that needs to be touched up right through here. I just think the line's a little thin right there. But this was all done with rectangular marquee, so it's already kind of just done. So awesome. Let's see. Do I want to do what's outside the window right now? Ah. Stretch. Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Okay, so I can see that I added in some kind of lighting stuff out there. I am going to get rid of that. And I am going to, I don't know, I guess just replace it with some different colors. And I'm also going to delete everything that I currently have on the trees. And those will be drawn by hand. But they're going to be much simpler than the leaves that I drew in the foreground here. They're basically just going to be little scribbles. But first, I kind of want to solidify the colors here. So, I want it to look vaguely sunset-esque. So I'm going to leave this part here, this kind of lighter red, and then up at the top, I'm going to put in some kind of darker purples and stuff. And I'm going to keep it pretty simple. And then maybe some kind of bright pink. Just enough to make it clear that it's getting dark. Okay. And with the window a little bit bigger, I actually have a little bit more room to do this, so that's nice. No, I said not to be an eraser. Stop it. There we go. And I can add a little bit of this pink color to her hair, too. So that'll be fun. Alright. I don't expect this area to be that different on the other side, but I'm gonna just get this gradation good with Katya missing. Just to make sure it's all good. Hello there, Wendell. I normally don't. I do not have any scheduled streams outside of my Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, excuse me. But if I feel like streaming, I'm just gonna do it, whether it's scheduled or not. And I kind of wanted to work on this picture. I'm still a little nervous on whether or not I'll be able to get it done before October. Okay, so that I think is a sufficiently fine gradation. Will Katya come back? And I still think she stands out fine against those colors. And so there we go. I think that this is a pretty good indication of time of day. I probably won't add clouds, but we'll see if I feel like it. I don't want to go too hard on what's going on back there. For now, I'm just going to use the same colors that I used on the leaves here. For, you know, the little bits of tree that I plan to have just poking out here. Like I said, it's just going to be scribbles. I'm just going to plop down some vaguely tree-shaped things here. And after a while, the color here will change. I might even just lower the opacity or something to make it clear it's on the other side of the window. I hate that. Okay, let me look at the shape that I had before. It's still over there, so I can kind of take a look at it. Oh yeah, and I guess I should hide Katya's cape and stuff. Since, you know, the cape on that side is translucent. It's okay, we're gonna have to make Katya look funny again. That's fine. So there, and here. Here, there we go. Okay. Just so that this way I make sure that I pay enough attention to what's going on everywhere, that when I mirror it over here, I won't have to change anything, except for maybe some cast shadows. Okay, so in theory, now I can know where all the trees should go. I think I actually want to keep this area clear. But I'll put a tree, like, right here. I think I want to keep it away from her ears. I don't know. I'm starting to question if I need anything there, actually, because, like, would it look better just like this? No, it looks a little better with the trees. I think it looks a little better with the trees. Okay. Let's find some nice tree shapes then. I don't know how I want to do this. Because the shapes are not working for me. I know part of it is just that it's unfinished, but it's just not working. Bleh. No, I hate it. I do think that they look better there, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's find some better tree shapes. Maybe it's just that I'm using a color that's a little bit too dark. Let's try using one of the lighter ones. I use the brightest. Normally, I like to start dark and then put the highlights on top. But if it's just making everything look wonky and heavy, then maybe I should try the lighter color. And I already know that's not the color it's going to be. Because it's going to be kind of faded out to make it clear that it's on the other side of the window. So, I don't know, maybe I should also just lower the opacity right away. Yeah, the problem might just be that it's too bright, actually. Bright as in saturation. Okay, so I still don't like that shape, but... this is a little better. Doesn't look like a tree yet, but just, you know, trust, as always. It'll look like a tree. It'll look like a tree eventually. Okay, I think I can get behind that. This is too symmetrical, though. Let's see. Can I tilt you a little bit differently? In order to kind of break that asymmetry. Okay, yeah, that works. Color's not quite doing it for me, though. Let's see what I think I'll try. I don't really want it to affect the color of the sunset that I got going on. So I'm gonna try something like this. Where I just take solid white, I fill it in here. And then we clip it to that, and I deal with the opacity this way. This can also often get me decent window effects, but it's not working for me here. So maybe instead then, I do just want this one. That's a little better, yeah. Yeah, I do think that's a little bit better. And then I could conceivably create a little bit more depth by adding a second group of trees. So we just, I don't know, plop some stuff a little bit further behind. And it's not going to look like anything for a second, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, and then I just kind of do the same thing. And we just paste that layer in. And I just kind of fade it a little bit more. Okay, no, I can't do it like that, but that's okay. What I think I can do is just lower its opacity a little bit further. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can get behind this. Let's clean that up. Okay, so all of these are just going to use the same colors as the leaves in the foreground here. Oh, I didn't use that one? Let's use this one. Okay, there we go. And That's just gonna be how I do it. So let's kind of get the outside looking good here. I'm gonna make things a little bit bumpy. Like before, it didn't really matter, but now I want to add some vague tree shapes to all of this. And it's really nice because I can use these trees to kind of break up areas that I thought blended a little bit too much with the background. Okay. That's convenient as well. Yeah, let's just get all the little trees done here. These ones I want to care about just a little bit more because they do touch up next to Katya here, and with her being the focal point, I do want to make sure that everything kind of directly around her looks really good. It's important. So I'll give it a little bit more care than I would for like something down here. But, you know, it's trees. You can pretty much draw anything and it'll look okay. Trees are just one of those things. It's kind of like clouds. You can just draw anything as long as it's vaguely cloud-like and it'll look like a cloud. So before, I wasn't really all that concerned about getting like every little bumpy edge looking good here. You can see that I mostly just I just drew the big general shapes there, because that's what mattered there. The each little leaf really doesn't. And you can see here in the foreground area, well, it's still background, but the area's a little further forward, I guess midground. I drew out each individual leaf. But these are too far away. These trees are very far away. So if I tried to draw each individual leaf, it'd actually look pretty bad. It would not look right. And that's because when things get far away, we don't actually see those details anymore. They all just kind of blend together. And I think it'll make a little bit more sense once I add in the highlights and whatnot. But for now, you know, I'm just trying to get the general gist of the shape. And you can even observe this if you go look at a tree outside. Go walk up to it, get real close, and you can see each individual leaf. Look at it from a distance. You don't see the individual leaves anymore. They all just kind of blur together. Your brain simplifies it heavily. Because, you know, brains are lying liars who lie. And they don't actually really show you what's actually there. They give you a highly simplified version. And so it'll actually look better if you don't go too deep into the details on distant trees. Same with, like, grass. And hair, actually, is kind of the same. It's like, try it. Try looking at someone. Go walking down the street, and if you see someone, you know, stare at their hair. I'm sure it won't be creepy at all. And you'll see that you don't really see the individual strands. Your brain will like to pretend that it does, but like really look at what you're looking at. You won't see individual strands of hair. Not until you get real close. So I say, your brain will try to convince you, but just remember, it's a lying liar that lies, and it can't be trusted. Okay. And it's actually very true, because it's just always so funny to say it, but one of the precursors of, like, genuine mental illness is how much you trust your brain's perception of reality. That's kind of what schizophrenia is. It's when you believe everything your brain tells you, and then some stuff with pattern recognition and whatnot. Because I mean, if you become just utterly convinced that you're being chased by the FBI, that's a very common thing with that, and you just believe that because you feel like you're being watched, you are being watched, and various things like that, as opposed to just going, no brain, that's stupid, stop it. It's an actual thing. It's funny. It's funny as hell. Okay, I'm gonna hide these trees for a second just so I know which trees I need to be caring about right now. And when it comes to smoothness, I'll probably end up adding a little bit more purple on the ones up here. But I'm not really gonna care about that right now. I think that this is fine for the time being. Okay. So I think there's only a couple more here. Yeah, this one's just totally behind her arm, so I'll just add a few little gaps in there. Okay, and I think that's fine. So let's go do the other one. I don't really need it in a group anymore. But I guess it's fine. I had ideas. They didn't pan out. Oh, I missed a spot. We'll let it cross the bar there. I don't look quite like how this is connecting. Eh, 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 No. Okay, I hate it. We'll just leave it like that. Okay. Keep things simple. Alright, I guess I was using a different color for those. Oh, was I using the bright color? No. What color was I using then? Well, whatever it is, we're using this color now. Okay. So we'll just do a little bit more blobbing around here, and I'll get some tree shapes that I like. And I'll do that until I'm happy. I do think these ones need to show outside her arm, though. I think it'll look a bit weird if I don't do it like that. In fact, I think I'm even going to fill in that area there. We'll just add a few gaps to stop it from looking quite so full. Okay. God, this is gonna look so good once I'm finally able to do all the lighting. I'm so excited for the lighting. So excited. Okay, and we'll just go ahead, make this nice and bumpy and a tree-like. I really can't hide the other group of trees at this point. Okay. Let's see, it's a little hard to see. So I'm gonna hide the sunset for a minute. Things you can just casually do when you're the artist. Oh, I can't see because the sunset is too dark. Okay, go away for a few minutes while I draw this. Okay, thanks. Alright, and then it looks like I had some going down here. But there we go. You know, I'm honestly probably trying a little bit harder than I need to here, but it's okay. It's like, what else is new? I like being try-hard. I think it's a good way to be. Let's see, we'll break this up a bit, and I think that's fine. So now I'll just add a few highlights and stuff. So I use the dark color there. So I'll just kind of use this slightly lighter color, and we'll just start blobbing. It's not going to be just like randomly. There is a method here. But for now, we'll just blob. And I'll add some dark spots too. Eventually. I think I'll do one tree group at a time here. Just, I don't know. I find it a little easier to understand. Now for the lightest parts. And you can see it already looks pretty tree-like. Or at least I think it does. And I didn't even have to try that hard in order to suddenly get it looking tree-like. You know, just add a few lights. It'll be fine. And you get trees. I guess I'll start with the lights this time. That's fine. Order doesn't really matter that much. And I'll probably adjust these colors when it comes time for lighting. Just because strictly speaking, I don't think they should look like the same colors from here. And those colors might be just a little bit too strong. But I think they're a reasonable place to start, so that's what I'm doing. We're just getting things started. And I'll probably go back over things with the mid-tone at the end here. Did I get the wrong color? No, I got the right color. Okay. I'm gonna hide the other group of trees for a second, once again, just so I can kind of see where I actually need to be drawing here. Man, is that really my dark color? Just feels way low contrast for some reason. Oh, whatever. I think it's probably okay. I think it's probably fine. Okay, so I'll just blob those around, and then we'll get some lighter areas, and I'll just do that. And I'm debating on whether or not I just want to blur this and call it good. I'm not quite sure if it would look good or not. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to know until I have kind of the rest of the background kind of smoothed out, so that might be something that I just worry about later. And we might just leave it like this for now. We'll see how I feel in like, 5 minutes. Yeah, I already used the lighter color for you, so you are going to have a little bit less contrast than the others, which I think is appropriate. Okay, so now I should know everywhere that still needs lights and stuff. Go plop them in. Okay, there we go. And that's gonna be the trees. So as it stands, I might end up just doing something like this where I just blur it. Something like that. I don't quite know yet. So we will do that science after I have the rest of the background done. I think that'll be probably like one of the last things that I worry about. I do want to get this top part a little bit more purple, and I think I will do that just right now. Actually, I think I can just copy and paste here. And can I do that? No? Okay. Let's see. How do I get it to be a good color then? Yeah, you know what? I think that's okay. Do the kind of the same thing here. Yeah, I mean, cooking is quite the thing. I don't do any cooking myself. But I think it's a good skill to have. Okay, yeah, I think that's fine for now. Cool. So, next. I guess it's time for the table. And much like I've been doing with a lot of things, I think I'm going to hide the Katya while I draw it. But yeah, I think it's good to be able to cook. You can save a lot of money on food and make better food as well. Okay, so it looks like I've already got all the colors picked out, so that's nice. Let's see, what do I want to do with this anyway? I'm gonna erase some of where the window is kind of escaping. It's distracting me, so... I have a particular thing in mind that I don't think I'm going to be able to express until I make things soft. So I think this might actually be like sufficient detail for now. I remember my initial self was planning on making this a glass cabinet, but then I remembered that I have to draw what's inside of it if I did that, so I decided not to. I might have been willing to go a little bit harder on that if it was more important to the composition, but it's really not. It's just really not, so let's not worry about it. Let's see. Again, just kind of debating on what I want to do. Okay, I'm gonna try to do as much as I can with what I'm picturing here, so we're gonna add a shadow on the side here. And it does look like at this rate I'm gonna start being able to do background smoothing today. I've got a pretty good chunk of time that I can dedicate to drawing if I want to. And right now I kind of want to, so I might actually be able to get decently far here. I already think that where I have a lot of this trim is already looking pretty good. And yeah, I want the front here to be a little curved too, so I think that what I've got going is actually probably about what I want. Okay, let's smooth out the trim here. Just get all that nice and smooth, and then I can transfer it all over to the other side. Okay. So I think you can kind of see what I'm planning here. I think this part is a little bit too curved. I'm gonna lift it up just a little. And let's see, if I was gonna draw this whole thing, there'd be some places where I wanted particular shadows, but Katya is gonna be covering up the middle, so I don't think I have to worry that much. In fact, are we even gonna get to see where the handles are? Because I do see that I have them designed, but I think I might just mostly cover them up, yeah. And this is going to be even worse on the dress half. You can't see it right now, but it's a mermaid tail, so it poofs out a lot at the knees. So I can definitely trust what I've got going here. Okay, so I probably don't need to worry about the handles. I'll draw a little bit and mirror it over just to kind of see what I have to care about. I think I'm going to approach this like the foliage there, where I just draw that half that I want. And then I mirror it to see how much I really have to smooth everything. I am going to try to create as little work as possible for myself. That seems like a good way to be. Let's see if I can express that kind of curve that I want here. I'm not actually entirely sure what it looks like. I've never tried to draw something quite like this. So I want like a slight curve here. Just a fairly subtle one. What I have here is not that bad, but it's also not quite right. I don't want it to be curving that much at this point. So kind of like this, but not quite that much, and I don't want it to flatten out at the end. Just a slight curve there. It's over here that I'm more worried about. Let me hide the foliage so I can really dig into how I picture this being structurally. This is gonna bother me, so I gotta erase it. Okay. So I'm just trying to think, but I'm picturing those kinds of tables where, you know, they're like, this is like a top view, where they're a bit round over here, and then they like, straighten out and curve back like this. So this is the kind of thing that I'm trying to draw, and I'm just like, okay, how do I do that? I'm gonna leave that there for my reference for a little bit. So we got the kind of round part at the top here. And then it'll flatten out a bit here. Before curving back around again. And this is still pretty curved. That's why I said I am not quite sure how to do this. I could look up a reference, but frankly, I don't even know where I'd begin. So, would I begin even typing into Google? Because I don't know what these things are called. I don't even know what era they're from. I just think it's appropriate for the fancy mansion to have a cabinet like this. That's about all there is to it. But I think that this is kind of showing it. And I think it'll do a little bit better once I'm able to shade the trim. I guess I can do a little bit of that now, and... you know, just plop a few of the shadows in here. Yeah? Yeah, I think that's doing it. And then I can make it ridgy like I did on, the window trim here. Okay. Yeah, I got this. I can do this. Feels good to say with the utmost confidence. And I'm not even being sarcastic, I do have the utmost confidence. The reason I learned how to draw was because I wanted to be able to draw all the things in my head without having to look up things that already exist. And while I do use references a lot, it's nice when I feel like I just like, okay, I broke down what this thing is, and now I think I can draw it. And I can just do that now. I don't really think that was the case 5 years ago. Okay. Yeah, and I can feel that curve in my mind's eye. I can feel it. I don't want this to go too high up there. I think the perspective might be a little bit off here, but I don't think it matters. Basically, I think it should be a little bit more like this. Which is why I said I don't think it matters, because I knew that I could just lift it up like this. There we go. So that's going to be a little bit more covered by foliage. Let me see, does the foliage still sit on this properly? Yeah, and then you got that little bit that's kind of falling off the side. I think that's actually really cute. So I'm going to roll with it. Okay. This is going to be mostly covered by foliage, but just for structural reasons, to make sure I understand what I'm doing, I do need to kind of draw it a little bit. Just a little. Okay, and I think that is good enough for now. The rest will come after I know what I actually have to care about. Let's see, I do think we have a few shadows in here. I think that this is fine. There will be a little shadow under here too. And here. Okay, so let's adjust this here. I'm gonna need to move the handle a little bit too. That's fine. And then this is where I really wish I could just draw symmetrically, but I don't trust the symmetry tool right now. Okay, so let's move the handle. We'll just plop it there. I think that's where it should go. And I am going to duplicate the layers. Oops. Whatever I just did, don't. Alright. Okay, and so now I duplicate the layers. Mirror them over. Alright, okay, I need to get rid of my little reference there. I don't need it anymore. Okay, and then from here, the handle. Layer transform, mirror horizontally for the final time. Okay. Alright, so looking at this, I do have to care about the handles. I might as well draw it on the left side there. I think the rest is looking okay, and this gives me a good idea of what I actually have to draw. I'll probably just draw over on the left, since more of the cabinet is showing on that side. But I'll leave both halves up for the time being. But I will rename the copy to the original if I'm going to draw over there instead. Okay. There we go. I'm going to start with the handle because I feel like drawing a fancy thing. Sometimes it's that easy. Let's get those cute little curves just right once again. I do greatly enjoy drawing fancy things like this. I think it's very fun. Whether it be buildings or clothes, just things that are just fancy for no reason. It's like, hell yeah. Let's just add random curves and a bunch of random lines and it'll be great. It will be great. I have to decide if I want to put a pattern on this one. I think I'll still just do ridges. I think that's going to be the theme for everything down here. Just lots and lots of little ridges. And those are easy to draw too, so, you know, that's always fantastic. When it both looks nice and is pretty easy to draw. Okay, I need to hide Katya for a second there. I'm not gonna do too much without her there, but I just want to curve this part out a little bit, and I need to know. Sorry for saying what. But, yeah. It's okay. I'm honored to be background music. Truly. It's alright, you know? I think that's how streams should be. Talk when you want to talk. Leave it on in the background if you just want some nice background music. Sometimes it's nice to listen to someone talk instead of just having music. Okay. Just gonna curl it all. Okay, there we go. Ooh, I don't like the way this rubs up against your pants. Let's see. Gonna push it over just a little bit here. Okay, there we go. That's much better. I just don't like it when things share edges. I think it looks very uncomfortable and bad. So I just, you know, move it over a little bit, problem solved. Super simple. Okay. So now I can focus on getting these little curves right. And they'll be just right. I will insist that they be just right. So I am particular about my little curves. Very, very particular. Especially when drawing fancy cabinet handles. And look, you put them together, they're gonna make a cute little heart. Okay, so let's get that curve going now. It's gonna feel weird going from background stuff here where I only kind of have to care to going back to the dress half where I have to draw the entire dress and I have to just really, really care again. Because, you know, most of the time with my process, I do all the focal points and all the parts that I really have to care about early on, and then I kind of start slacking off in the parts that are just less important, the non-focal point parts. And I'm kind of in the slack off portion here. But most of the time when I'm done with slack off portion, I'm just done. So I'm gonna have to go back and remember how to care about things again. That's gonna be interesting. I don't really regret the method that I picked for this one, though. I think it was appropriate, since they're gonna be mirror images of each other, and this way I only have to draw all these things once. And I was able to check the composition against a mostly finished one before mirroring it over to the other side, and so I think I made all the right choices there. It's just gonna feel weird. But I know better than to doubt my ability to be a tryhard, so I think it'll be fine. Yeah, that's perfect. I just have a particular curve I want here, and I'm not getting it. Let's just take it a little more slowly. I'm also trying not to get too close to that vine. Because if it rubs up against it, it'll look ugly. Okay, no, that's good. I think that's fine. And then I think I want here to have just a little circle. Here too? Yeah, here too. You know what? I'm gonna make it a perfect circle. Let's make it a perfect circle. Okay. And that's my fancy door handle. I think before I start shading everything, I want to just get everything drawn. So let's do that. Let's get the trim. Okay. So I have a pretty firm idea of which areas I need to care about here. I guess a lot of this won't matter on this side, but I gotta make it look good for the other side. It's important still. And this I think I will draw via a rectangular marquee again. Because that is convenient and simple. That's a bit too thick. There we go. I think that should be a solid width here. So let's just gradually work my way up and see where I want to stop it. Right about here seems good. Okay, and that will be this part. All done. Okay, and I do see that we see a little bit of the center. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Strictly speaking, it might actually make more sense to do this last, but, well, I'm already here. So, let's just go. It'll be fine. Okay, so right about there I think looks good. Yep, looks fine to me. And you know what? I think I'm gonna take those center ones and put them on a different layer. Just to keep life easy. Right there's good. To right here. Just go all the way down now. Okay, and that should get every pixel. There's cut. There it is. Okay. And so now I should be able to worry about the center parts without worrying about messing up my lovely straight lines. I might even just be able to copy and paste it, honestly. I think I can. I'm just gonna do it like that. Like I said, we're keeping things simple here. It'll be fancy. But I don't need to try too hard here. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I think that looks pretty straight in the front and then curved kind of near the side there. I just kind of want to clean up a couple of things here. This line is not straight enough. Also a little bit awkward thickness in a couple of places. That's easy enough to fix. It might just take me a couple of tries. That's pretty normal. Okay. Just gently go across there. And yeah, I think that looks good. So I will duplicate this and we will move this on up here. There. A little higher. Okay. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good, so I'm gonna call that good. Alright. Let's get the side of the table. I'm gonna turn the Katya back on. And I'm gonna grab the side of the table now, which is gonna be just more rectangular marquee shenanigans. I want it to be a little bit narrower than the trim on top, but just a little bit. I think right about here looks perfect. I lied. That's a bit too narrow. So in that case, right about there. Okay. Yeah, and I think that works. This will look okay once I mirror it to the other side. And since most of this is going to be curved, I'm not going to bother straightening out any of the shading right now. I'm going to leave it kind of blobby and messy, and then once it comes time to actually make things look nice, then I will blend it all together. Well, make it look nice is wrong, but once it comes time to blend the colors together, I'll blend it all there. I think that makes more sense. Okay. So now I just have this top bit, and I can see that it's going to be relevant on both sides, so I'll just go ahead and hide the Katya. I also see that I don't really have to care about the middle that much, but I'll still kind of try to get it relatively straight, because I don't quite know where she's going to end up on the other side. This is exciting. We might actually finish first pass of the background today. So yeah, I do have quite a bit of time to do some things. I think I got like, what, 2 hours still? Yeah. Okay. I do like this top part being a little bit thicker than the rest. I think that's nice. Okay. Just go across here. I want this top part to look a little flatter. I probably don't have to go too hard because, like I said, I think the Katya is going to be in the way up there. But I still want to make sure it has the right impression, so this way I can at least kind of draw the rest of it properly. It'll make it a little bit easier for me to understand. I think that's probably fine. So here will be a little curved. Okay, and I actually think that this part over here is looking pretty good. I think it's doing what I want it to do. So now it's just a matter of getting it just right. And cleaning up the last few things. Yeah. Well, that all came together pretty quickly. I'm pleased. This is really the last background element here. After this, I just gotta smooth it out. Make the shading style match what I got on Katya. And then I'll probably do some touch-ups on Katya herself. Make sure that her little beauty marks and whatnot are there. Because it is an absolute travesty that I don't have them in yet. It's very important detail. She likes her beauty marks. And then after that, it'll be time to do the lighting finally. Because I do think I will finish the lighting before I copy everything over. I do think I want to do it like that. Or I guess I might copy everything over first, but I won't start the other side until the lighting is done. I'm gonna give myself that treat. I really want to do the lighting. I want to do it so much. Okay. Let's copy this over. Or, no, it's a little bit too soon. But that's okay. I forgot that I needed to shade things still. That won't be too hard. So let's grab my shadow colors. There's going to be, we see like a little sliver of the top here. I'll just go ahead and make it smooth all the way across because I do think we see most of this bar here. So we're not really going to see any of the side here. We're seeing it from basically straight on. And I'll just get that looking nice. And we're also going to have a shadow here, where it's curved. Up until right about here, I think. Yeah, you can kind of see where the curve in the trim there starts. So I'll have all the shadows there. And then over here. Oh yeah, that's on a different layer, but that'll need some too. But I'll go ahead and get this bottom bar while I'm here. So let's see, this part is going to be all in shadow, just right through there. And then we have this top part here, where we see just a little bit of the top. I might actually need to make this a highlight instead of a shadow now that I think about it, because this part is facing the light. But I don't think a highlight would look good there. I don't know. Let's see what it looks like. Does it look better as a highlight? It absolutely does. Okay. That's perfect then. Okay, I'll do it like that. I wish I thought about that sooner, but yeah, this side is facing the light. This is correct. I don't think I like it being quite so bright in the shadow area though, so I'm gonna go ahead and use kind of the mid-tone for that instead. And I think this might be a little bit too much of the ridge showing. It's kind of pushing it out further than I want it to. I'm gonna tone that back just a little here. There we go. Okay, and that's good. Now I just gotta do it again. One more time. Now, unlike this part that I'm doing right now, the 3D part of the side here, this guy, this part will be shadow. Because that's kind of going inside the cabinet, and I don't think it makes sense for that to be a highlight. Or does it? Because once again, it is technically facing the light, but I don't think it's as directly facing as this piece is. Like, the window's right above it. And in the final version, I probably won't keep it that light. I'll probably add some other effects on it, but for now, that seems fine. Alright. And I think that looks pretty good, so let's go ahead and get this part. Okay, I'm gonna do the top half in shadow and the bottom half in light, and maybe I should have done it the other way around, but whatever. What looks more accurate to me? Highlight. Okay. Alright, this is why we test things. Highlight looks better. And then, of course, for up here, I'm gonna want a big highlight. I guess I'll do this part first. I got distracted by it because I was like, ooh, I get to put a big juicy highlight here. Hell yeah. Let's do it. Okay. Yeah, and then I guess for the rest of the background, we're gonna have, like, the wall that I need to do eventually. Right now, it's just transparent checkerboard pixels. But, um, I will have to color in that wall at some point and make sure it's all properly shaded and whatnot. But I don't think I'm gonna do that until I'm just ready to smooth out everything. I think that'll probably be, like, the last thing I do in the background. Okay, there we go. There's the nice big highlight. And I think we see a fair amount of the side here. So I'll go ahead. Actually, you know what? I don't think I need to do it like that. I think I can make my life a little simpler. And I can just use my friend, the rectangular marquee. I'll just have to refine the top part. Oh, that's way too thick. Let's try that again. I think it only goes to about... even that looks a little bit thick to me. This looks fine. Okay. So we'll add the little highlight, and then I'll touch up the areas that I don't think we see the side of. Okay, so like for example, I don't think we see it here. These guys just kind of attach. And it's gonna look a little funny right now, but it's okay, you can believe in me. I'll make it work. I'll make it work. Yeah, okay, I drew it right. I was afraid that I accidentally drew it weird, but no, we're good. I drew it right. And then up at the top here, I think this part actually goes up a little bit higher. And then it kinda stops right about there. Okay, so there we go. I think that's perfect. And from here, I think I can start thinking about all the little ridges. So I'm gonna do something like what I did over here in this trim. I think I'm just gonna do roughly the same thing, actually. And I'll do that before I fix all the shadows that I plan to have over here. I think that's a good idea. So I'm gonna start with the ridges on this thing. So I think we're just gonna have a little one right there. And these ridges are all gonna be facing away from the light. So they will all be shadows. And I can probably do 90% of it just like this. With my friend, the rectangular marquee, making it so I don't have to draw straight lines. Gonna make this one a little thinner. Yeah, just like that. Okay, and then... let's see. I think I'll do another thin one. Just like right here. About the same thickness as the one before it. And I think this is sufficiently fancy for my purposes. Okay. So, and now these ones, their ridges are going to be a little bit more directly facing the light. So I'll start with the little ridge that I think is going to go at the bottom here. So I do think we see a little bit of this guy. And these ones are a little bit curved, so I just kind of have to draw it. I can't really cheese it with the rectangular marquee. Or the line tool, or something else like that. I'm debating on how I want this to connect. I do think that I need it to be like this. Yes, I think so. And then we just let this continue. I just try to think about how these things are constructed, and it gives me a good idea of where I think certain elements should go based on how I drew it elsewhere. Okay. Next little ridge. All right. So this is going to be another one that's also going to be half in shadow there, so I'll make that side a little bit darker, but I just want to get it down. I just want to get my idea down here. God, I wish I could draw straight lines. Cannot, though. Not in the slightest. Okay, let's see. Just gotta straighten it out. And like I said, I wish I could draw straight lines, but I sure can't. That's okay. I can just touch them up afterward. Okay, we got that, and I think I want one more shadow ridge, just kind of going across here. And I think that'll do it. And once again, I think I can actually just copy and paste this one. Well, no, because I changed the thickness too much. Never mind. I'm not going to do that. I'll just draw it properly. Can't let myself get lazy, even when I'm doing the lazy part. It's important. I gotta keep going. I gotta do it properly. Gotta do it properly. Alright, this part still looks a little blobby to me, so I'm gonna kind of smooth it out just a little. I think Katya covers a lot of that, so I'm not gonna go too hard, but nonetheless, I do want to make sure that it works like that. And this one I'm only gonna bring out to the second ridge. Here we go, like that. Okay. Alright, and then I wanted to take this highlight and make it mid-tone. Just right here. The selection won't get it exactly right, but it's still a little bit easier than doing it on myself. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna touch you up just a little. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's just what these are gonna look like, and I think that's perfect. So, yeah. That won't be too bad. It'll be fine once I kind of... Ah, man, itchy nose. Get into the groove there. Phew. It's like, man, I like doing all the details, but sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes it really is just a lot. Okay, so we got one more of these little divider thingies to go. And then I just have one more side bit to go. And I don't think I'm going to add any additional patterns or the like until I'm ready to go and smooth things out. I'm not sure if I want to put anything more on these. Like, I think it would make sense, and I think it would make it fancier. But I just don't think it would really be seen. Because even on the side with the transparent cape, I mean, it's the reason I have to make sure that everything looks okay. But even on that side, I just don't think that this is a prominent enough point of the painting to go quite that hard on it. Maybe I'll add some swirly things or something, but I think I'm gonna save it for once I know how everything else is gonna look. And I can just leave the Katya turned on at all times. And all that kind of stuff. And I just have the rest of the details totally figured out. I'm gonna save it for then. And if I decide that it still needs to be fancier at that point, well, you know what? We can make it fancier. But I don't think it makes sense to do it any sooner. Okay. Just gonna focus and see if I can get the line relatively straight. No, not at all. Can't do it. Even with absolute focus, cannot do it. God, no, it just goes completely the wrong direction. Okay. I tried. Let's smooth this out a little bit more, make it look a little better. Okay. Now we'll get it to connect back in with this side. Much like before. Let's see, how did I handle that part? Yeah, just like this. Okay, and then we have this going across. In theory. There we go, okay. And over here, oh, no, that looks bad. There we go, that's better. Okay, and now I carry this to the second ridge. And this to the second ridge. And I see that I didn't carry it all the way to the edge here, so I better do that, otherwise it'll look weird. There we go. Okay, and I think that's good for the cabinet door there. In theory, I could add like a hinge or something on this part, but I think I'm gonna go for a hidden hinge behind this part of the trim here. So it'll open from here rather than like in the middle of this. So now I gotta draw this side. Okay, it's alright. This one I can do via rectangular marquee, so it won't be quite as bad. I get to have a slightly easier time. Okay, so this one's gonna be thicker. And I'll just clean up the top when the time is right. Okay, and now we do the thin one. I think the rectangular marquee is being better for me than the line tool has been. So I'm gonna keep using it. It's a good little friend. I appreciate its existence. Okay, so there we go, all the way down. One more, just a thin one. Yeah, just a thin one. And I will get that going across there. Okay, and too far. Stop. There we go. Okay. And now I fill that part in. Okay, and then I want to add the little ridges that we can see going the other way. that'll be with shadow color. I don't like it. Let's try that again. I wanted a thin one just like right here, but I got a little bit too close to the edge and it didn't quite work out. Let's try that again. I think right here will be a little bit better. Yes. Okay, and now I can get the little bit at the edge here. Okay, so right there, going down, and I think that looks fancy, so I'm gonna call it good. And now I have to figure out how these join. I think I'm gonna do a similar thing to what I did over here in the middle, where I let it kind of cut in. I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to handle this because it, like, curves and then straightens out again right through here. So, I think it'll be fine like this. I'll just trust myself for the time being. I'm sure it'll be fine. Actually, this, I think, should be shadow. I think this is actually true on the other side too, so I should fix that, where this should actually be a light. Until about there. Same with up here, actually. Okay, let's get these lining up just a little bit better. Alright, there we go, and... there was something that was bothering me. I can't remember what it was, but I guess it's not bothering me anymore if I can't remember, so it's probably not that important. Oh yeah. Okay, I remember now. I was just looking at the wrong place. I did not fix this. There. That's better. Okay. Back to what I was doing. Over here. Let that be light. I'll let this be dark. Yeah, I put it in the wrong spot, which kind of sucks. I'll see if I can salvage it. I can, but it's gonna be annoying. Life is hard. No, that's just really bad. Okay, let's draw it properly first. Because it needs to go up like, this. This side is curved. So it needs to go up like this. I can't just do it straight across like I could on the other one. There. That's where it should be. Okay, so now I just have to fix all the lines I erased, which I think will be okay, but like I said, mildly obnoxious, and I am thoroughly, vaguely perturbed. That's okay, I can make this work. I'll just draw them all the way up for the time being, and I will fix the shadow bit after. There we go, and now I can fix the shadow bit. Gotta let them run over the lights there. And I think we're okay now. That looks much better. Okay. And this honestly still kind of has the curve feel, but it should be a little bit straight here. So I'm just gonna let this kinda... it's gonna straighten out a little. Which probably means I need to adjust those lines a little bit again. So we're gonna kinda go out like this instead. And I'll just fix it until it's right. It'll be fine. It'll be great. It's okay. I can try as many times as I want. Let this guy kind of straighten out over there too. Get that shape right. Yeah, there we go. I think that's okay. And I'll just do the same thing for this line. That's gonna go until about here, I think. And then we'll have this ridge that kind of continues out into about here. Okay, and there we go. I think that is now properly connected. And I just gotta do it again! I swear that a lot of this is just gonna be covered up, so I'm a little bit nervous about spending all this time trying to get it all right, but at the same time I feel kind of obligated. And then straighten. There we go. So hopefully this gives me the shape I want this time, and I don't have to pull all those shenanigans again. Okay, and then we get the highlight. That'll go around like that. Go from here to out here. And you will go to about here. And I'll figure out what to do about the shadow being weird. But I think this is fine for now. So now I just have the top! Okay. I don't think it'll be that bad. I'll be fine. I'm going to do the top before I fix the top of this. So we're gonna have the ridge kind of at the bottom here. But it's okay. This is like the last hard bit. It's fine. Details, man, they get to you. See, this is why I look forward to the open source Live2D project that I've been following a bit. I'm looking forward to it coming into existence. Because I think, like, with as much as I care about stupid little details that nobody will see, I think I would do well rigging. I haven't done very much. I rigged my model and that's about it. But I think I could probably do that pretty well. So I'd like to do some more. I'll probably end up even doing some more on stream, and I think that'll be great. So as far as I'm concerned, either Inochi 2D will get more stable in its in its upcoming version, or the other one that I'm looking at will finish and be okay and nice and stable, so I don't have to worry about losing my model again. Like when I was rigging just this model, the me, when I was rigging that, I almost lost the model twice, and that was terrifying. And then I did another Inochi 2D rig on stream, and I almost lost that model a couple of times. I encountered a bug that basically made me lose my entire stream's progress. And I was really mad about that. So at least in its current state, I kind of struggle to recommend it, but I am hopeful that once the developer manages to get the next release out, that it'll be more stable. I'm just not sure when that's going to happen because she keeps increasing the scope. And also just doing a bunch of other random things because reasons, I guess. So I keep hoping it'll happen, but man, sometimes it feels like it never will. And I'm kind of excited for the other one that I've seen, Umamo. Because that one's actually making an effort to be compatible with Live 2D and all of the Live 2D assets that are out there. I see. Yeah, the point 8 was really, really unstable. I did almost lose my model a couple of times. And the most common bit of support that's on the that I've seen requested is for hey, my model got corrupted. What do I do? So it's why I struggle to recommend it right now, but you know, if the new version's good, I'm still very hopeful. I think it'll be fantastic. But it's just why I struggle to recommend it in its current state. But, yeah, the reason why I was kind of excited for Umamo was just that it's actually making an effort to be compatible with Live 2D and Live 2D assets, whereas Inochi 2D has basically said, no, we're never going to be compatible with anything, we're not trying. Aside from, I think, the developer talked to the person that makes VTube Studio in an effort to get them to recognize Inochi 2D models. But that doesn't seem like it's gonna happen, so... Yeah, right now it's in a very early alpha state. You can't really do anything. But I'm still very hopeful! I really hope it's good. I really do. I want it to be good, because I'd like to be able to do some nice rigging again without having to deal with Live 2D nonsense. But Live 2D as a software just doesn't seem very good. Not to mention, it's very expensive. It has a really, really, really terrible terms of use. So if I don't have to use it, I don't want to, but it'd be really nice to have something that's actually compatible with all of the assets and stuff that exists for VTubers out there. Because right now I can't use any of them, because I don't use a Live 2D model. I don't use VTube Studio. I cannot. My model is not compatible with these things. So it'd be really cool if I could make some stuff that actually is. Because I've thought about it sometimes, where I'm just like, if I ever made a fan model for someone that I liked, they would never be able to use it. Because, I mean, why would they download an entire new set of programs and stuff just to be able to run it? Like, that's not gonna happen. So having it get actually compatible with everything else means that I could do that and I could give it to them, and, you know, if they wanted to use it, they actually could, without having to just do jump through a ridiculous number of hoops. So, I hope it ends up being good. You never know with a lot of open source stuff, unfortunately, but... the quality varies wildly. As you might expect from just passion projects made by people in their basement. And put out there for free most of the time. But okay, last little ridge, and then I need to kind of adjust the side there. I mean, if it did, I'd just be using Live 2D. Because it wouldn't be kind of terrible. But that's what I mean. It's like, I feel like the wild variability in quality when there are people being paid to work on it is very different from just passion projects generally made by a single person that sometimes gets a small amount of contributors. And then once the project gets big enough that they can actually hire people, the quality gets a little bit more stable. But that's not until later most of the time when it comes to open source stuff. Because like I'm under the impression that Blender and Godot and Krita and everything, they hire developers. They do let people contribute, but they have actual, people working on it. It's not just a hobbyist project, and many open source projects are. So it's different. Okay, so there we go. I think that's probably fine. And before I fill this in, let's make this ridgy. There we go. It's nice and ridgy now. And I think that this is sufficient for what it is. So I'll go ahead and add these shadow parts where I think things are curving. Oops, I don't have the layer locked. Of course not, I just unlocked it. And if I need to, I will add all of those lines back, but I'll just leave it like that for now. Okay, time for the handle. I think this is actually going to be like the easiest part. Okay, because I have a pretty clear idea of how all of this is put together. So now I just gotta make it. Okay, then through here, down here, where it kind of tapers off there. There we go. Good luck. I like rigging. It was pretty fun. I'd like to do more of it. I just need to be able to trust the software not to eat my model before I'd feel comfortable doing more. And right now, I'm just not there. I do kind of miss... I'd like to do another rigging stream someday. So I do hope that the stuff coming out ends up being good. Because I think it'd be really fun to do some more. I had a good time. Regardless of which option I end up going with. I'd like to do it. Okay. Keep zooming in too far and it makes everything look bad. I don't know what it is. Whenever I zoom into 133% or 266%, I think it just always looks bad. I used to spend a lot of time trying to smooth things out and just wondering why I could not get it looking good no matter how hard I tried, and then I tried a different zoom level and it looked fine. There's just something about those particular zoom levels that just always look bad to me, just always. No matter what I do. Okay, so I think that's pretty alright. Let's get the lights in there. I think it actually makes more sense for this part to be lit. So I'm gonna do it like that. Trying to figure out how to light curves like this is always something. It's never as straightforward as it seems like it should be. Okay, so... I think this is probably fine. Another case of if this was a more prominent spot, I might actually look into how it should be, but for what it is, this is fine. It may not make complete sense, but I don't think it has to. It's okay. I tell myself that, and I don't think it's just cope, so... Okay. I really do like adding highlights to things. I just think that everything looks so much nicer with a little highlight on it. It's very nice. It makes me very happy. Let's get this nice and smooth. And once again, I'm not gonna collapse my mirrored layers because I still only intend to work on half and then mirror it over again once it comes time to smooth things. But yeah, there we go. I think that looks fine. And let's see, are there any other shadows that I want on the table itself? I think I have most of them right. So we have this part where it all... Oh, are you the same color? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Where it all just kind of goes across like that. We got the highlight on the top. I don't think I need any particular highlights down here. Maybe I'll add a little bit on the curved part there. But nothing too strong. And like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time getting the shadows smooth because... with this being curved, it's all just gonna kind of move around a bit. And it's not gonna make sense until I smooth it. Let's see, do I want a light part here? You know what? I think that'll actually look kind of good. So, let's do it. And I'll still just be messy about it because I do just need to get all of the shadows blended. They will be blended as opposed to hard like that, then they will be more thoroughly blended than some of my other things, so I think it just makes sense to do it there. Alright, in which case I think the table is done. Alright. Okay, so let's duplicate all the layers. Just get them all over there. And then we'll turn on the Katya and the rest of the background and stuff. Okay, and I want to mirror over the other half of the window thing. Is that you? Yeah, that's you. I ended up not using that, so I don't need this group either. Oh well. Alright. Keep forgetting that I have to tell it where to mirror. Okay, let's turn on the layers, and there we go. So yeah, I think I can be happy with leaving things mostly that way, and then we just have the background here. Which I think I will go ahead and get rid of any shadows we have. Let's see. I think I want a slightly darker wood shadow here that I will use for most of the stuff in the back. And then I'll plop some shadows around the foliage here, and I think after that we'll be ready to go in and smooth. Very exciting. Okay. Yeah. I guess I'll just start with the roses. But let's find a nice dark shadow color here. It's probably just gonna end up being near black, but you know what? That's fine. That's totally fine. I want it a little darker than that. That seems like a pretty good color. Okay. Like I said, I was pretty sure it was just going to be near black, but that's fine. Okay. So now I can get the shadows cast from the table here. I think over there I'll just leave the normal wood color. But I do want there to be a nice strong shadow cast from the table, and then just, you're not part of the background, are you? Fascinating. Oh, you are now. Oh. Do I have something up on top of that? Wood placeholder, okay. Farewell. I already know I don't like that wood texture for this, so. Huh. But even so, it's still not drawing. What's on top of there? There shouldn't be anything, because I don't think the window goes on top of that. Oh, I have the wrong color picked. That's why. Okay. Okay, maybe I can keep the wood placeholder then. Yeah, there we go. I just had the wrong color picked. It's alright, these things happen. I still don't intend to keep it, but you know. It'll be nice to have such things. Just to remind me to do it later and to give me a better idea of what all of this is going to look like when it's done. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Phew! I want to turn Katya's layers back on for a little bit, because I want to see the picture. I just want to see it. I will have to turn them back off, probably. Well, maybe not. I think for a lot of this, I just need to hide Katya and her entirely. Entirety, rather. But yeah, there we go. Man, this is gonna look so good once I finally do the lighting. I mean, even just my cheap lighting. Just my kind of unfinished lighting. It's like, that's gonna be great. I approve. Man, look at that. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and turn it off for now, because before I can do all that fun stuff, I gotta smooth all the stuff in the background, just all of it. I'm terrified. Wish me luck. Let's start with some roses. So, yeah, I think I can just leave all of Katya's non-lighting layers on at this point. And I can just go in and... Well, I gotta hide her because her hand's in the way, but I can just go in and do this now. So for foliage, I'm gonna remove all of the copies. And let's hope I can finish all of it. Thank you. But let's just hope I can finish all of it, and then I don't have to worry about having half my picture being bald. Okay, for this, I probably actually mostly want to stay out at 100% if I can help it. Alright, I'm gonna go look at a rose. I want to stare at it and see how it all kind of meshes together. I just want a quick reminder before I go in and try to actually draw this. Reminder gotten. Let's do it. Okay, roses are really, really smooth. So I am terrified, but it's okay. I've got this. I'm probably gonna end up destroying some of my little lines that I worked on earlier, but that's okay. It's for the best. I gotta zoom in. I want to be a little bit more precise with those lines there. So we'll just get all this blended. And I still pray that I can just finish all of my foliage before I have to stop. I really, really don't want to leave my picture bald, but I also don't want to rush. It's quite the conundrum. Ew. Okay, I'm gonna check shadows one last time. I just want to check the shadows one last time. Okay. Yeah, I think I have the right idea here. So some of these are going to be a little softer. So like right here where the gap is a bit bigger, I want to make the blending a little bit softer. But where the petals are close, I'm going to keep the edge pretty hard still. And I think that's just where I will leave it. Okay. And then here, it actually does make sense for them to be a little bit lighter. So I can just kind of go over it with my mid-tone color a bit, and it'll work. In theory! I do always feel like this part is just a little bit scary. I don't really want to mess it up. That would be deeply, deeply unfortunate. But it's okay. I think I can express the texture well. I believe in myself. I have a pretty good idea of where I want to take this. And you know, much like when I was handling the basic coloring there, I have a rough idea of where everything is and where it's going, so should just be able to get things to kind of do what I want. In theory. And because I kind of have to do all the colors at the same time, so I can't just be lazy and press X to switch between colors anymore, but at the very least, I think I can make it work. Maybe not when I keep picking the wrong color, but such is life. Unfortunately, I can't just, you know, press X to switch between colors, so I gotta pick. But my brain is just like, oh yeah, just hit X, it'll be fine. It won't be fine. Not this time. And I'm trying really hard to make sure that the edges don't get too blurry. I still want my edges to be clear and beautiful. Don't want them to get lost. Alright, so let's see, how should this one be? Let's blend in this corner, but we'll leave this part pretty hard. Maybe not that hard, but still a pretty hard edge. Alright, and this part here is going to be very soft. I'll just fade it out to nothing. And I have to remind myself that I probably don't have to go too hard. I just don't want anything to... I don't know. What's the right way to put it? Like, everything here looks a little bit more painted and soft, and I don't want inappropriately hard edges, I guess. I don't want to get rid of some of the stuff that I did, but I also don't want it to not match with everything else. So, finding that balance can be a little hard, but it's not that bad. I think I still have a pretty good idea of where I want this to go. Like I said, at the same time, this is background stuff. And while I do think the foliage is fairly prominent, for some of this, I gotta pick my battles. I gotta fight the right fights. If I want to get this done by October. It's like, strictly speaking, I could probably crop this and only draw the one side that I have finished here, but I'd like to get the dress side done too. I like my dress design. I think it's pretty. I like it a lot. Okay. So yeah, I think that these lights are looking okay. I feel like right here is still a little muddy and I'm not quite sure how to fix it. I'll worry about it in a little bit. I kind of want to smooth out the petals. Some of these I think are going to be pretty soft. But there are some places where I think that the transition will be a little bit harder, like right here. Alright, well thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll probably just go for another hour or so. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, there's no way I'm finishing all the foliage in time, is there? Oh well. I might just duplicate what I have by the time I'm done to the other side, because yeah, these roses are going to take a while. It looks good, though. I was afraid that I kind of lost a lot of what I had, but no, I'm comparing it to this one up here. I still think this one looks okay. I don't like some of the shadows anymore, though. They looked really good in how I had them before, but man, is it not working. Let me see, there's some flowers here with Artist Senpai. Yeah, his are a bit more vague than what I've got going on, though. These are a little bit more of a direct comparison, I think. They're still a little bit more vague, though. That's probably the answer, then. Yeah, it's like, even the ones right next to her here that are a little bit more refined. That might be why I don't like those shadows. Let me see, what about you? Or maybe I do just want to keep them a little bit more hard, because I see a lot of fairly hard edges on these ones. Man, looking at these leaves makes me lament that I don't do line art sometimes. Because the reason that some of these are able to stand out like they do is just because there's lines around them. Okay. So in that case, let's see. Thank you, Senpai. I appreciate it. Let's make them more vague. At least on this side. Okay. Yeah, I think I like this. And then I can keep them a little bit stronger in certain areas. Where I think it makes sense. And I'll just spread shadows and whatnot around. And we'll see how that works out. So yeah, I realized fairly early on that I can't just be like, oh yes, I'll just do what I normally do. Except I'll smooth the edges when I'm done. Because it doesn't work. The result just doesn't look good, so I do have to do some things a little bit differently. And I think this is one of those areas that just has to be done a little bit differently. Because yeah, this looks better. Okay, cool. Crisis averted! Alright, today we will figure out how to paint roses, and next time, honestly, if I'm feeling up to it, and I have a good chance to, I might just do a lot of gorilla streams this week to work on this. I've been feeling it lately. Like, for a while, I was feeling game dev really hard, and I did a lot of gorilla streams with that when I was able to. But now I'm kind of feeling this guy again. So I might go work on him some more. Just gotta moderate that light a little more. Like, what I had before looked great with my harder CG style. I think that if I were not going to be blending things, that this would have been perfect, where at most maybe I adjust some of the lines in some of these, but I think they look great. But it doesn't work with what I'm trying to do anymore. It just doesn't. So gotta do something else. Gotta do something else. Let's find something that does work. And I think some of the stuff that I currently don't like, I will be able to fix it beautifully once it comes time to add the final lighting. Because I know exactly how I'm gonna do it. I can see it in my head, so you'll just have to trust me. And we'll just get things to a pretty okay state for now. But you know, as always, don't worry, I'm trustworthy. You can count on me to bring this out and show you what it looks like in my head when the time is right. But the time is not right yet, so I gotta get it there first. Oh man. It's just rough because I kind of don't like it. And I didn't do this on another layer, so it's like if I can't get it good, I'd have to redraw the whole thing. Oops. I believed in myself a little bit too hard, and now I'm paying for it. Let's do some stuff over here. Like, it doesn't look awful or anything, but I don't really like it. Let me try a hard edge brush instead of a soft one. Just rough when you spend some time on something and it's just like, I don't know, it just doesn't look very good. Art is hard. Okay. So let's see. You know what? I think that this is working a little bit better. Roses do have a little bit of texture to them. So maybe using an opacity brush instead of the airbrush will let me kind of capture that. Maybe it was just a little bit too smooth and that's why I hated it. Wouldn't be the first time something like that's happened. And then I'll just gradually build up certain parts. And we can leave certain parts a little bit more vague, like I was talking about. Yeah, okay. I think this one's working a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is working a little better. It was just a bit too smooth. Gotta watch for that. I do think it was just a little bit too smooth. And now I'm able to kind of get something that feels a little bit more like petals. Okay, I'm happy. I was nervous. I was really nervous for a second there. Okay, this one's not done, but I want to try another one without airbrush and see what it looks like and see if I can just carry this technique onto all future roses. Because this one I'm going to kind of have to undo some of what I did because it didn't work. So I want to see what happens if I just start it like this from the beginning. If it just ends up kind of working out, or if I have to do some shenanigans, or if the airbrush will be better for certain areas. I have a few questions. I have a few questions. So let's get those questions answered. Okay, and yeah, this is going a lot better, actually. It really is. Just get them to look a little bit more painted instead of what I had before. Don't need to do too much with it. Okay. Yeah, I can get behind this. Okay, cool. I am less nervous. I am less nervous now. Okay, so that one's not done either, but I want to go ahead and finish this guy. But I think that it'll all work out now. I'm feeling a little bit more confident than I was 5 minutes ago. So I can just go in and paint freely, and it'll be great. Okay, you can recover even when mistakes are made. It's okay. All is well. as well. So let's just get those petals nice and delicate, nice and soft. Exactly as they should be. Flowers should look like they're soft to the touch. And then I just gotta be careful to make sure that I don't completely get rid of my edges. I don't want everything to be perfectly blended. I don't think that would look very good. And we'll just get these little guys nice and painted. And now that I've kind of gotten it started, I feel like things are moving again. I don't know if I'll be able to get to all the foliage here, but I think I might be able to get to some of it. And I think the leaves will actually be pretty easy. A lot of them, like, I'll probably use, based on what I'm seeing here, I'll probably use the opacity brush for a lot of it. But for, like, areas like this, for example, this is totally airbrush. I want that to just gradate completely. That tends to be how I think about it. It's like, it's been a while since oh, no, I used the wrong color there. It's been a while since I've had to care about what type of edges I'm making, because with my harder edged drawings, you know, the more CG adjacent stuff, there is no edge control. It's either on or it's off. Whereas here, I kind of got to care about those things again, and it's been a while. I'm trying to remember how to do it. It has been a little while since I've had to worry about that. I think it's an important skill to have, and you know what? I'm glad to be building it up again. I am. It's nice. It's nice trying to take back some things that I was afraid that I would lose if I didn't use them. Okay. So I think this guy's almost there. And with any luck, once I kind of figure out what I'm doing here, the other ones will be a little bit easier since, you know, I will know what I'm doing and I won't just be flailing and guessing. Knowing what you're doing is very useful. Very, very useful. And then I think as I get in here, I can just start making things a bit darker. Let's go ahead and get the tiny lights that I put on the edges of the petals here. Okay, now I can just kind of start blending out those shadow areas. And I think I know exactly how I want to handle it, so that's nice. I think it'll be fairly straightforward. I'll put that guy's little highlight back after I kind of get everything else figured out here. And then for these center parts in particular, I want to keep the shadows a little bit more prominent. A little bit stronger. So I'm gonna kind of go back in and press a little bit harder here. I might even get a slightly darker color there. think I will. Just a little bit, because, I mean, when I look at real flowers, those centers can get, like, real close to black. It's actually crazy. Okay, and I think that might be just where I leave that one. Like I said, I don't really feel like I have to go too hard with them. And if anything... well, I think the other reason that one took a little was because I messed it up, but yeah, if anything, that's already harder than I have to go. So let's see how I do on the next one. Oh yeah, there's a little guy that needed its highlight back. There. Okay. But yeah, let's see how I do on the next one. See if this one goes a little bit more smoothly now that I kind of have an idea of where I'm going. This is the side that's toward the light, so I'll kind of lessen those shadows a bit. We're just gonna make everything look just a little bit more painted. Oh yeah, and I should get this guy too. I think I'd rather get this guy before I move on over there. Oh yeah, just gonna make everything look a little bit more painted here. And I'll call it good. Okay, I think that's fine. I'll go ahead and get this little guy too, because I think it'll be easy. Let's just get the easy little guys out of the way here. There we go. All done. Cool. Yep, that was pretty easy. Whew. I can feel myself starting to get a bit tired. I think I'd like to do a few more roses, though. But... fortunately, you know, I think that the foliage is the last hard part. Because it's like when the last hard part of the background. Because I actually, when I look at this, it's like most of this is really easy. It's like trees in the background, you dab colors and you're good. The sky is already done. The window just kind of need to smooth out some very specific spots. You know, kind of in here. And I just want to make this transition just a touch smoother. That'll probably be another one where I use the hard brush instead of the airbrush. And then all of this down here. Yeah, I don't need to do much there. Like, this is metal. And this is... I'm probably going to use some lighter colors on the handles, actually, but just to make it look a little shinier, more metallic. Maybe I'll make them wood like the rest. That wouldn't be so bad, actually. But anyway, yeah. Basically, the rest looks easy. But I want to do the foliage right now. I just want to start there. It's the important spot of the background here. This window very much matters. It matters a lot. So I do want to make sure that I get it all and that it all looks, you know, really nice. But man, is it a lot. Oh god. I'm back in one of those states where I'm just like, oh man, I drew a ton of flowers and now I have to render a ton of flowers. How could this happen to me? It's okay, it's not the worst flower field I've done. This is tame compared to some of the stuff I've done in the past. Sure, we'll get this little guy here. I'll get this little guy right here. Oh, I have the wrong colors. No wonder I can't get anything to work. Man. I'm always sad when I can't just use 2 colors and switch between them. Okay, that one's good. Back to this guy. I'm just kind of deciding how these petals overlap each other. I think it's something like this. I think that looks pretty good, actually. I have the wrong color. It keeps happening. Gotta pay attention to that. Look, my habit is I just want to hit X to switch between my background and foreground colors, and when I can't do that, things get annoying. Okay, I can do that for a little while here. Well, I just kind of deal with the more shadowed areas. Yep, but now I have to switch colors again. Alas. It was nice for a little while. Yeah, I think this looks decently painted. I don't think things are too ambiguous. I think it's pretty clear what's happening. Okay, then a little over here. And then I want to get those really, really dark spots in the middle. There we go. I think that's good. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one before I do the one in the corner here. Just because its unfinished state is bothering me. It just is. I'm gonna start with these little highlight areas. It's actually amazing how well this just basic opacity brush is able to blend. You don't need the airbrush for everything, do you? I do like Krita's airbrush, though. I think it looks pretty good. When it should be used, at least. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get some shadows in there. Start getting some of those shadowed areas. I actually do appreciate just how easy it is to go back and forth and create some of those soft transitions where I want them. And Krita's brushes really are just so good. They are. Sometimes I wonder why so many people use Clip Studio Paint when this program is free. Okay. Let's carve out the center of that rose there. I think it's gonna change a little bit from what I initially drew, but that's fine. That can happen. It's all good. I don't have to be beholden to anything my past self did. I just can go with whatever I think looks best. I think it's a good way to be. I'm gonna make those shadows a little gentler. And I want to add... I don't know, looks like a little fold in the petal here. There we go, something like that. It's like, man, I really liked the way Katya started to look when I started blending out all her colors, but I'm not feeling quite as strongly about the roses here. Part of me actually thinks they look a little bit better before I did all this. That'll probably be something I have to work on. I don't think I want to go too deep into it on the roses in the background here. I think that will be something I figure out for another picture. Because there's just something about the way they're shaped that's leaving me maybe not quite sure what to do. Or I feel like I'm losing a lot of my clarity here. Hello there, Copper. Welcome back. But I think they're good enough. I think it's fine. But this will be something I look into in a future painting. Or maybe I decide to draw some nice flowers somewhere and then I figure out how exactly should I make them look their best. Oh, thank you. I think they are okay. I was just talking about it just like, I don't know, something doesn't feel quite right. But I think they're good enough. So I'm just gonna leave them like this. Just trying to get them looking a little bit more painted than they were before. I don't know, when I look at them, I kind of think that the ones before I blended them look a little bit better than the ones after. I'm not quite sure why, and I don't really want to dig into it right now. They're not really important enough for this picture to make me want to do it. Whoa. Nice, very nice. I like drawing flowers. I'll complain about it, but I complain about a lot of things that I still ultimately like doing. There's just... parts of it is a little bit tedious, but I think they look nice, and I think that they... I don't know, once you get into a groove, they can be pretty entertaining. It's kind of like frills for me, where I do like drawing frills, but oh boy, will I complain about having to render them. Okay, let's see. I need a dark color. There we go. I want to get some of these light areas now, too. Surprisingly hard to blend certain parts without just completely killing the dark areas. I don't want to kill them too hard, only a little bit. Not sure if I can help you there. Well, I mean, I guess I know the feeling. I have a couple of hobbies. They're not League of Legends, but where I'm just like, you know, I could do it. Part of it sounds fun, but I know that once I do, I'm probably not going to get what I want out of it, so I should do something that's a little bit better use of my time. Like drawing flowers, yeah. Much better. I just want to get this little petal looking a little happier here. This one too. This one's actually looking a little bit better than the others, I think. And, you know, once again, it's because it's less detailed. Fascinating. Alright, let's get some of those darker crevices. I keep telling myself that, you know, sometimes I do go a little bit too hard on the details and it just makes things look not as good as they could. I actually think this one looks a little bit better because it's messy. Like, unironically. So I'll keep that in mind for the future ones. That might be one of the keys to figuring out why I don't like some of them. So this guy here, this guy is just like so thoroughly in the light that I can probably tone down a lot of the shadows and it'll look really good. I still want some of them there, just, you know, not quite as strong. That might help it out a little bit, actually. I kind of felt it when doing Katya's face here as well. Where I wanted to put in a nose and stuff, and I definitely did want the nose. I did want the nose to be there. But it actually looked better when I made it a little bit less nose-like and a little closer to anime nose. Just slightly more prominent, slightly longer, and with a little bit of extra light on it. I see. Yeah, I like my background music. I think it's very pleasant. Oh yeah, sometimes I just gotta keep in mind that less is more, and I don't need to try so hard. And sometimes trying too hard can lead to negative results. I think it's true for a lot of things. You know what? I think that one's fine. I think I will add a couple of little just ultra dark crevices there. Just like right here. But otherwise, yeah, I think that's fine. I think I can just leave that one like that. Oh, I see. Okay. You know, I don't think I've ever heard Silent Hill soundtrack, but I imagine for kind of an atmospheric horror game that must have pretty good tracks there. Because in order sound design is really important for games like that to work. Words are hard. Okay, yeah. I like where this is going. I'm basically killing that pedal there, but I think that actually works really well. Let's kill it more. Yeah, it really did. I do think its OST was pretty strong. I'm just not much of a music person. Like, I like it. I like listening to it. But I am very normie tier when it comes to music. I just listen to something and I'm like, oh, that was nice. I liked it. And I kind of stopped there. This is why I've decided that I'm probably not going to be a musician in this life. And that's okay. As much as I'd like to be able to add my own music to my games and stuff, I just don't think it's happening. But I will appreciate all these wonderful people that make wonderful music. Give me some nice stuff to listen to. Makes me very happy. Okay, you know what? I think I'm getting somewhere with this don't try so dang hard thing. Let's fade out this edge a little bit more. Hell yeah. Okay. Okay. yeah, I might actually be able to finish the roses here. There aren't that many of them. I was really concerned at first, because the first one I just didn't really like the way it looked. But then I tried something different, and wow, it's amazing how doing something different can lead to better results. Wonderful. Then I can just focus on kind of pulling some amount of light through there. Okay, yeah, I like this. No, I was considering going through and doing some of the other ones, just getting their highlights, but no, I think I'll just do all the shadows too. I'll just do one rose at a time still. I think that's been working. Yeah, so see, this is where having artist senpai in the background there it was helpful, because it's like I went over and I saw, yes, he has one with lots of flowers and some of them are near the character. So I looked at him and what he was doing and I'm just like, huh. They're really messy. They are. But I still think they look really good, especially when you just look at the whole picture like this. They look really, really good. So I'm like, okay. For what I'm doing here, let's not try so hard. And yeah, it's perfect. It's completely perfect. This is exactly what I want for these petals, I think. Exactly. Now I just gotta perfect those little shadows. Just gotta perfect those lovely little shadows, and then I think all will be well. Okay, so let's see. I think I do want a slightly darker spot here, just kind of at the base. Some of these I think do need to be a little bit lighter. And just gonna kind of pull this out here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. This part needed to be a little bit lighter. And then, you know, I don't want to completely get rid of the subdivision between petals and whatnot, so I do have to be careful with that. I have the wrong color again. It keeps happening. Okay. I think it's almost there. Man, it's amazing. Just making them so much more vague is what I needed here. That just feels very strange to me, because most of the time I like to keep things very clear, but no, I guess when you're pretending to be a painter, you want things to be a little bit more vague in some areas, and it'll actually look better. Because, yeah, I think I could just leave that one there, and it looks really good. It looks way better than what I did for this one. Feels weird, but no, I legit think that that's the way to go. I do think. that's just what looks good. I'm gonna do this little guy before I get the big one. I'm gonna try to keep my life simple here. Yeah, there we go. All done. Cool. Now, let's get this guy. And we'll make him a little bit more vague and make me nervous, raise my hackles a little bit, because it feels very strange to be doing that to me. There's a reason I kind of settled into this harder CG style for a while, because then I can just focus on really, really clear shapes, and it's very nice. But it doesn't work when I want to do stuff like this. I have to do something else. And that's fine. I just gotta figure out the right things to do. That's okay, that's why I have Artist Senpai to help me. I can just go look at the art that I like, and that does what I think looks good. And try to figure out what makes it work. And bring those techniques into what I'm doing right now. It's been working great. Always nice to have a senpai to look after you. Even if you're not talking to them directly. Okay. Okay, I like this one now. I think this one's starting to work again. I thought I'd need to blend in a lot more edges here, but no, not really. It's amazingly straightforward. And you know what? I think next time I go and draw flowers, I'll be able to make them look really nice. I don't think these ones look bad, just okay. But you know what? That's okay too, because this is my first time trying to draw something like this in a very long time. And strictly speaking, I'm not sure if I ever knew how to draw flowers softly. Even back when I had softer art styles. But this tells me that my knowledge has indeed deepened since I last tried to do these things, because I would not have known what to do. My old self wouldn't have. And here I just look at a picture for 2 minutes and it's like, oh, okay. We do that. Great. And it worked. I think I'll leave that one there. And I think I will stop once I finish all of these roses. I think the roses will be the last thing for today. But you know what? I think they're looking alright. Yeah, I think I did alright. Not bad for a first attempt like this. Admittedly, there are a lot of things that I like about drawing like this, but it's kind of making me miss the way I used to do things with my harder CG style. And I think that's a good thing too, because it tells me that I'm kind of heading the right direction when I draw in that other way. There are things that I like about doing all this though. So I will probably try something like this again. I'll see if I can kind of combine the two ideas into something a little more reasonable. But I think that this was a very excellent first attempt for all of this. I think it looks really good. I do like this picture, and I had an absolute blast drawing it. I was feeling like I was in kind of an artistic rut for a while. Strictly speaking, I still kind of feel like I am. But trying something new like this really did help me get out of it to some extent. It's not nearly as bad as it used to be. That's why I said, even though I don't think I've completely gotten out of it, it's better. It's a lot better. Making a game helped too, actually. And that's like, you know, something completely different, but it still did help. It did. Alright. So yeah, I'll go ahead and finish out the roses here, and next time, I'll do some leaves. I'm not super looking forward to that, but you know what? If I want it to be in the picture, I gotta draw it. That's all there is to it. All there is to it. And I do want it to be in the picture, so we'll draw a bunch of leaves again, and I'll probably go slightly insane again, but that's fine. That's just how art is sometimes. I'm grateful to my past self for not putting in too many roses, though. Like, thank you. I only have, like, a dozen to render, as opposed to just the ridiculous number of leaves. There are so many leaves. I do think they ended up looking really nice, though, so I'm glad I drew them, but at the same time, I'm just like, oh no. Oh no. Okay, let's start getting some of these dark areas again. Yeah, I like being able to kind of do that, where I just kind of carve a petal out of the darkness like it's nothing. That's cool. I don't know what I was doing here. I think this is a leaf shadow, so probably won't blend them too much. Oh man, I can tell I'm getting tired, but I'm determined to finish the roses. I'm very determined. And I think I can. Might just get slightly less chatty for a bit while I just kind of finish them up. Although I do say that sometimes, and then I just keep rambling because I've trained my brain to just never stop talking while I'm on stream. So it actually feels weird and awkward to stop. It's incredible. Never thought I'd be able to train myself to do something like that. I am very much not a chatty person in real life. I'm generally content to act like a cat, just sitting at the back of the room, watching everyone, silently judging them, as, you know, a cat does. I guess, strictly speaking, generic cat girl was one of my ideas for a VTuber persona. I'm glad I went with this instead. I think that's a lot better than going a generic cat girl, but it was one of my thoughts. People have compared me to cats quite often. Cats and vampires, of all things. Okay, and let's see. I'm gonna touch up this part just a little bit, but otherwise, I think we're good to go. You know what? This is nice. I feel like the roses draw a little bit less attention to themselves now. 'Cause, you know, Katya, here's the real rose. That's what you're supposed to be looking at, not these silly things in the background. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the tiny bud once again. Okay, all done. Was able to keep that one nice and easy. So we got this pair left. These are gonna be the last ones. And I do think I will go ahead and duplicate all the layers again. So I'll have something nice to look at until my next stream. Because I've been enjoying looking at this picture. I think it looks good. And it makes me very excited to work on it some more, which is why I was able to do an extra stream today. And depending on how things work out, maybe extra stream next week too. We'll see how much time I have and what else I have to do. Been taking a small break from game dev stuff for reasons, so we'll probably get a bit more art. Also to get a game demo on Thursday, of course. I'm not gonna stop that. No reason to right now. I guess if the reasons ever turned into, hey, I need to take a break for a week, I wouldn't really hesitate, but it's nothing so severe. Okay, let's carve out a few petals here. I like being able to do that. That's honestly nice. If I do more stuff like this in the future, I might just not draw them quite so thoroughly at the beginning and just draw a shadow and then carve all the petals out of it. It honestly feels really good. And I think it works. I think it's very effective. So I might try that next time I draw a rose. Or any flower, really. Or at least anytime I want to do it like this. If I do hard CG, then I gotta be a little bit more specific, but something like this, you know, this is just perfect. Or you can keep things a little bit more vague, and it's fine. It's better, even. Still can't get over how weird that feels, but I can observe it. It is the truth. There is zero doubt in my mind that it is the truth, so. And that's perfect. So there we go. I think that's it for the roses, and I think they'll look a little bit less weird once the leaves are not quite so hard. Once I soften them up. Alright. But I'll go ahead and duplicate my layers. Actually, you know what? There's no reason to do it like this for what we're doing here. I thought I saw it selected. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I just realized that it was probably not going to be exactly right for reasons, but I can fix that next time. Just having it generally correct, I think, is fine. But yeah, I think they look sufficiently painterly-like, and I think that some of their weirdness will go away once I fix the leaves. And everything else, I think, is, like, fantastic, so we'll be able to just kind of leave it like that, and God, I look forward to doing the lighting. Stretch. Okay, but yeah, background mostly done here. Just kind of gotta smooth it. And we'll do that next time. And I might touch up the roses depending on what I think needs to be done after I smooth out the leaves. Well, see, whatever makes that look good. I will stop here. So thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all next time, which might be Thursday, might be sooner. We'll see.